are giving it their all, and several were worthy of the OP5. So for Week 8, they are Someday, Mike Young, Bjergsen, Stixxay, and Biofrost. First up, 100 Thieves, Someday.
And obviously with the Darius game today, it's pretty easy to see how he took over that entire game and led his team to victory. But even in the game against Golden Guardians, which was a little rough, he had a good Cho'Gath game, was flatting a great front line for his team, for that Cassio and Xayah backline to step up, which is something he's always been praised for, is his actual frontlining skills.
Yeah, and he has had a very poor split kind of coming up to this week, and if 100 Thieves is going to succeed, they need to have solo lane performances like Someday had this week.
Very much so. Next up, TSM's Mike Young in the jungle.
Mike Young, man.
It's coming.
TSM keeps talking about it, but this
That's
week he was incredibly solid, and it's made more impressive by the strength of schedule and strength of opponents, right? They played Team Liquid and Cloud9, two teams that are very likely to be in the playoffs, and he performed really well.
All right, in the mid lane, we got his teammate, Bjergsen.
I mean, especially for that last game on Syndra, huge performance in carrying his team back, but also just what happened in that game versus Team Liquid, where they had that flex pick, he gets the rise, they get it into Anivia, he's beaten up Pobelter for a lot of that game, and then, like we said, these catches in the C9 game, dragging his team back into the game and eventually handing them the victory.
Yeah, pretty insane week from Bjergsen.
They're a duo. We'll talk about them individually, though. CLG Stixxay in the AD carry position.
Yeah, as well as Biofrost, who we're going to be having for the support. But look at those numbers. 20 kills, 4 deaths, 13 assists, specifically setting the DPM single-game record for the North American LCS in their game yesterday against FlyQuest, where he had a good early game, too. It's not like he just carried in the late game. Stixxay, he popped off.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that his average across 2 games is over 1,200, right? Like, that's a surprisingly large number for one game.
And
so for it to average out there is pretty nuts. Of course, his lane opponent, I almost said. No, they work together. CLG Biofrost in that support position.
And he played Thresh today, had a monster game, also had a great game yesterday. So they have the upset win over Fox. They're beating everybody in the playoffs right now. And they look like one of the hottest teams in the entirety of the LCS, mostly off the back of his playmaking and shot calling.
I mean, I think the other thing, too, is right, is his own team has been vocal about Biofrost's improvement from the beginning of the split to where he is now, both in his vocality as well as his play and how he's kind of pairing up with different individuals on the team to make things happen.
Yeah, I think these guys, specifically for COG, I'm going to be...
You're always measured in your assessments now,
I'm kind of
Chad,
sad, actually, that TSM and Team Liquid looked so good today, because part of the storybook ending for COG, if they make this miracle 6-0
is that they
run,
need them to
is that they actually get to play a tiebreaker game with either of those teams. But that might not happen. Like, there's a chance the worst team in playoffs is 10-8.
And then it's just not attainable. It's just simply not attainable.
Or they could just lose to Optic as the first game, and it'll all be over.
The disaster scenario.
But what do you believe is going to happen, Jack?
If we don't ask him that, don't ask him that.
Playoffs.
All right, now as we approach our final week of the regular season, let's take a look at how you two rank prediction-wise. It was a difficult day here. 3-2 for Jat, 2-3 for Mark Z. So Jat moving ahead 1 game in the standings with 10 left to go.
Why did you pick Clutch?
Yeah, that's what I'm sad.
You tried to take my shine with Clutch.
That's what I'm most sad about, is yesterday, Mark, you know, had that fire prediction, Clutch over Echo Fox, nailed it, and we're like,
they banded around him, they called you out for being a hater.
Maybe Clutch game and really turned it around. Maybe they can beat teams above the line.
Focus on your teams. You got FlyQuest
and then they lost
Optic.
to Liquid.
The entire NALCS, topsy-turvy. In Week 8, there were a bunch of moments that brought us to the edge of our seats, and some of those big plays had you cluttering up the Twitter sphere. So let's review a few, brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, Pocket Sand is asking the question on every Clutch fan's mind, rather. When are we going to stop sleeping on Clutch Gaming?
The Ocean Dragon is the target here now for Echo Fox. They already have the first 2 dragons looking to continue to pick up those neutral advantages. This may give Clutch a little bit of time to secure some more vision, but they're actually Rise ulting into the pit. They're going to try to rush this down.
That's a really cute play. Can they kill it in time is the issue. The Tom Kench brings over 1. He's actually brought Phoenix on the Cassiopeia, but there is no smite. The Chomp comes in, Cleanse gets him away, and the team's going to try to disengage. Apollo jumps the wall. Fevin's going to flash to make sure he's safe.
Just burn, I'm going to lantern out.
Okay.
Watch Cassie, No,
watch out. Can you get out?
We have to go up.
Everyone kite flash if you need to. Run. Just give trash.
Leave. Sorry, Nick. Fine, Kench flash, Cassie flash.
Nice. Good. We need to counter push.
Only losing support for the pick of a Baron is a great play from Clutch.
So what I will say is they actually played really well in that Echo Fox game. Like,
incredibly.
That is the game where you wake up and start paying closer attention to Clutch Gaming, but I swear.
You wake up for a second and go back to sleep because then they lost to Team Liquid.
They're probably going to be up 2-0 in the finals, and I'll be like, feel it.
Yeah.
Like, until they actually
They're a
win it
tough
all.
team to peg, right? Like
Yeah.
it is. They have those on and off days. Mark, I know you've had a tumultuous relationship with them. Next up, Indie Noise has admitted that Afromu's Rakan has got him feeling a certain kind of way.
It's Caitlyn by herself on top. You have to have top control. And Meteos actually does get the ultimate, or if not the ultimate, the Rift Herald off.
That was a really nice attempt from Contract. I believe he saw the channel in fog and just threw the ult trying to interrupt it, but...
Yeah, he threw it, but it was soaked by Afromu.
Get the wave.
It's a bit the Sejuani.
Oh, they ulted?
I'm here, I'm
What?
here.
He tried to block Herald.
Oh, okay.
That is coming mid.
Let's see, I'm on the way too.
Tower's dead, tower's dead.
I can't follow.
Can I watch our camera right here? Yeah.
Yeah, Cody, can you walk out?
I'm ready.
If he doesn't up? Yeah.
Go on.
Nice.
Good job.
I mean, hearing him say, can I one-shot Karma here like 5 seconds before he goes in just shows how well he sees the game and knowing what he can pull off.
As well as, too, you're starting to see that synergy between him and Cody's son, right? Cody knowing that he's got a position at max range for the E to close the distance. You know, that kind of lulls the opponents into a false sense of security. I love those champions. Finally, Emil Susena needs a favor from a certain star on Syndra. Can I have Bjergsen, or rather, can I hire Bjergsen to deal with my bug infestations?
Even if you're still going to have an overall difficult job, Svenskeren finding
He's
himself
getting
caught
first
out. Bjergsen just deletes him.
Hit him with the gameplay. The Syndra, haven't seen that one in a while.
Back on you here, actually. He's insane. I'm looking.
They might look to go top with
Careful hook. Careful hook.
Yeah, I'm gripped. Guys here.
He's here. I'm running.
Got him. He's dead. Nice. Oh, Shen ult. Nice.
It's just too clean. It's just almost too clean.
Like, how many people find that pick there? How many people really find that pick?
I mean, yeah, Mithy calling it out, Bjergsen knowing exactly where to put it.
The sweeper didn't even see him. Like, I guess you can know if the sweeper didn't see him, then he's further forward, but...
Right, had to have been trucking it out of there. Either way, make sure you keep tweeting your favorite plays as we lead our way to the postseason, and we'll keep sharing them from here all the way to Miami. Time for us to send it over to Freak, Kobe, and Zyrene, though, to close out the weekend with NALCS Tonight.